Hey, welcome to our Maine Adventures Part 1.
So this is us first pulling into town, heading to Libbys Oceanside camp.
Absolutely stunning location.
This is one of the many restaurants along the way, stone's throw. We had a wonderful meal after our vow renewal there.
And it's just when you're driving along, there's just so much beauty to take in.
Now Libbys is a very small, unassuming campground with little to no amenities, but the one key amenity it has is the reason that they're always booked. And when you're coming, you should definitely reserve a spot well in advance.
Yep, they have full hookups, guys, but you know what? No pool, no activities, but look at what we get. Here it is. Well,
After the long drive, little George couldn't wait to get his feet in the grass.
yeah, here's that view I'm talking about. That's what you get when you come to Libbys Oceanside Camp, and I can't get enough of that view. We love it.
Luckily, I have my new drone for this trip.
Your drone footage is just beautiful.
Now we have a separate video with some drone footage and stuff on Libbys camp in particular, if you want to check that out.
I mean, right from our campsite, the sunrise my husband captured in the morning. I certainly don't get up that early, so I'm grateful for him to capture that. But I did get to see the moon rising, and that was something special.
So this is that road that we were driving along coming into the campsite. They have several coves and small areas of beaches up and down the entire Maine coast.
And it's a beautiful beach. I mean, in high tide, the water really comes in there. They don't have much beach, but when it's low tide, I mean, it's really, as you can see here, this is kind of in between tides, and people really enjoy themselves.
So just up from the beach, you have that classic kind of touristy area with gift shops, and there's a bowling alley.
You have some amusements there, candy, fudge,
Yeah.
all that good stuff.
All the classic stuff you see in like a shorey type of beach town. That goldenrods is very old. They have all the old original taffy equipment in there and stuff. It's almost like a museum when you go in there.
It's a small little area, as you can see. It's just kind of in these two intersections here, but I thought they had a lot of selection. You know, it was really fun walking around and seeing all the goods.
And what we found through most of Maine, and all these little videos you're going to see of us driving through these towns, is that it is just jam-packed with restaurants and boutiques and galleries and things.
Oh, there she is.
Right around the corner from there, you have Nubble Lighthouse.
So this is considered Cape Nettic, Maine, but it's right there. It's right where those beaches are.
Now this is all, of course, captured with a drone because the island's inaccessible except by the lighthouse keepers via boat. But you don't need to have a drone license and a high-end drone to get this type of footage. They actually have a public landing area where you can pull up and park and picnic and climb on the rocks and watch the sunrise and take really good pictures of the lighthouse. So these are all taken with the drone.
So here's that area where you can park and actually just capture a really close-up view of the lighthouse. And it gets pretty crowded. I mean, it's the most photographed lighthouse in all of Maine.
So let's talk about York Harbor. This is slightly south of the campground. And as you see here, it's, well, as its name denotes, it's the local harbor for York Village. And this is where the long linemen and lobstermen come and dock and unload their stuff for market. You can get whale watching and fish charters out of this. You know, they rent boats and stuff for fishing. And it's a really quaint kind of, it's in a historic part of York as you head a little south there. And one of the draws of the area is this very beautifully made long walkway that goes across this bridge into this wooded island. It's like a nature trail. And another thing about this area, when it's low tide, it is low tide. Normally the water's right up to that wall. But this is the Wiggly Bridge.
So the Wiggly Bridge is actually a place I am going to cherish for life because we decided to renew our wedding vows on this bridge. And it was just kind of a fun, frolicky idea, like, hey, let's renew these vows. And then, as you can see, guys, that's our actual renewal here. And we absolutely just love the moment. It was beautiful. It was sacred. It turned out to be something super special.
And what's crazy is we were supposed to be cruising to the Caribbean, and we were planning renewing our vows on the beaches of Puerto Rico. Of course, all cruising has been halted, so we took the RV trip to Maine instead. But I think this was probably better than the beach in Puerto Rico could have ever been.
I think it was just something so magical. And as you can see from our photos, you know, we just had a blast. And surprisingly, there was no one on the bridge at the moment that we did this, and it was at sunset, as you can see.
There's a lot of foot traffic on this bridge, people going over to that island for nature hikes or to partake in Mother Nature, so to speak. But in the moment that we were there, it was
perfection.
So a little further south we have Kittery, and the big draws in Kittery are the outlets. And you see here this massive complex. That's the Kittery Trading Post. It's like a Cabela's or Bass Pro Shops, twice as big as any one of those that I've ever been in, and it's privately owned. And it's anything to do with outdoors, archery, guns, fishing, clothing, camping, you name it, it's in there. And it's pretty amazing. And then all the outlets, of course, are there. And it's a really, really cool area.
Now, this place, Lovebirds Donuts, is a vegan bakery. So what I love about them is they have gluten-free varieties. So not only are they vegan, but they're gluten-free, which is a hard combination to find. So when my husband came back with some apple cider donuts and some Kahlua and cream donuts, I was in heaven. So this place I will always frequent when we go to Kittery, Maine.
So now we're coming into Portsmouth. There are a couple of ways into Portsmouth. If you're on 95, you go over the big bridge. This is Route 1. This is the historic World War I bridge. And it's a very unique looking drawbridge, actually. And I have some drone footage at the end of this clip you can check out. But it's a real old town. All these some of these buildings date back to the 1600s. Everything is brick. They have a huge, beautiful historic district. And it's just shops and boutiques and you name it, this place has it. It is a really cool, hip town. It is New Hampshire's, like, Portland, Maine.
Yeah, it really has a wonderful vibe. I mean, we ate at a place called Shalimar, Indian restaurant, good quality food. It seems like they're kind of a foodie town. They do have amazing historic homes that you can tour and museums. Obviously, with the whole COVID thing, those are shut down right now. But still, there was plenty to do. The shops are adorable, really unique little gift shops, and all around just a great city that I would recommend people stopping in, especially if they're visiting Southern Maine.
And if you are a history buff, they have something called Strawberry Bank. It's an entire village preserved exactly how it was from like the early 1700s. And you can take tours. Now, right now, of course, I guess you're not going in and out of the buildings, but typically you do the tours and all, and it's a massive section of historic buildings.
And I was just blown away by, you know, the old buildings, the old homes, and how it had the plaques that were in the early 1700s, even for some of them. So really, like my husband said, historic town and worth the visit.
So here we're back to that drawbridge, and I have a close-up in the drone footage you'll see of the cables and wheels. They can raise this bridge because there's a Navy base just to the right of it. They can raise this bridge as high as they need to accommodate any size ship coming through this canal.